Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to I Got Next podcast, season three, episode number five tonight. Let's this is it's been a while, it's been a while since we graced the airways and spoke to the good folks and tried to talk about some good old fashioned Street Fighter Six and FGC meta in general. So, it's your host with the most. I'm saying the Win Commander himself, Shadow Ace, on the ones and twos, and I'll be the moderator for the podcast this evening, joined by my co-host on production, always making sure the vibes are smooth. The mayor of making himself, Sir Retro, and of course, as tradition, I want to first thank Sir Retro for agreeing to host this discussion on his platform. You're not already following the live broadcast channel on Twitch, hit that follow button to join in on the live shows on Twitch because we do interact with the live listeners in the comments. We can address your comments. We can talk about it. Feel free to express yourself in there, and we can, you know, take a look at it. The reason I have assembled our guest here today is just to get their thoughts and opinions, views and opinions on their local Street Fighter scene, and now that Street Fighter Six has been out for about what 5 months now, about, and this platform is just an opportunity to express and discuss how you feel about your local scene and the game in general. Um, Everyone has their own different views and opinions towards the game and the community in general. So this platform is just an opportunity to express yourself in a constructive manner. I'll go ahead and start us off by introducing our panel for this evening. I'll go first. This is Shadow Ace. I am a Lily player, future Ed player, commentator, podcaster, bracket warner, a TO, a man of many hats. Been in the fighting game scene within our state of Atlanta, Georgia here for about over 10 years now. So, have my stars and stripes and I've got my accolades here and there, but enough about me. Let's go over to the other half of the I Got Next crew. Sir Retro, the mayor of Macon himself. Introduce yourself to the good people.
Hey yo, what's going on, y'all? I am sort of retro. I am the head TO of the Middle Georgia scene, specifically Reboot, Retrocade Gaming, and Sprite Out Nerds. I'm pretty much TO, player, competitor, trainer, and jack of all trades for the most part. Mainly a DJ as far as Street Fighter 6 goes. Got my boy back since Street Fighter 4 and Super Turbo. Of course, I might look forward to a featured character in the franchise in the game, so we'll see what happens. But of course, the other half of the podcast series, editor, um, also co-host, and also little producer here and there. So thank you guys for tuning in to the show. We're on episode 5, I believe, of season 3. Made it this far. It's been more than a year and had plenty of awesome guests over the course of years. And I think we're revisiting, actually, back to Alabama, if I'm not mistaken. So who do we have for tonight?
Looking at it tonight,
Hello,
man, we
hello,
have
everyone.
two guests, I believe, but the second one will be joining us quite soon. But for right now, I believe one of them will be holding down the fort here. It'll be Negaman and Ryusuke. But Negaman's here with us live and direct. Negaman, yo, introduce yourself to the good people.
Hello, hello. First of all, I want to congratulate you guys for 3 seasons of doing the thing that y'all been doing and feeding the community. Congratulations on just making it this far.
Thank you,
And
thank you.
just, introducing myself, I am NCA Negaman from New Challenger Approaching. We're a nonprofit public charity organization based off in Auburn, Alabama. And been in the FGC as a competitor for over 10 years, and then started the whole TO journey probably about like 5 years ago. Besides that, I've done a little work on a couple like fan-made video games. I know a lot of people might be familiar with Mugen and stuff. I created a character on there. Yusuke Urameshi he's the best looking one if you ever do get it. That's the Yusuke that I did. Besides that, I do a little bit of 2D animation, um, videography, photography, that sort of thing. But the passion is with the games and with the FGC. So that's just a little bit about me. And I think Ryusuke might be able to pop in for a second and introduce himself. But yeah, we're located in the Auburn area, and we kind of go all over Alabama and currently even beyond Alabama. We just got back not too long ago from our event that we were a part of, the Waka Flocka versus Sonic Fox event up in NYC. That was just crazy on so many tips, but definitely happy to be here and happy to be a part of this show as well. And Ryusuke just popped in too.
Okay. Ryusuke, if you get his, yeah, introduce yourself to the good people. Let them know what's going on.
Okay, cool. Well, my name is Reginald Martin, aka NCA Ryusuke. I am the treasurer and, of course, the co-founder of New Challenger Approaching Esports nonprofit. And I've been gaming since I was young. My specialty was basically fighting games, as you can see, of course, with the FGC World. And but I do play all other type of genres of games. Other than that, that's basically me. Wife, two sons. So I stay busy all the time in the midst of gaming too as well. I've
Oh
been in the
wow.
FG and I also been in the FGC for maybe about, oh gosh, since 2015. So I would say about what, about 7 years. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, definitely want to thank you two, for joining us today. I know you guys are in the midst of getting ready to prepare yourselves for an event, I believe, at a college, a basketball game.
Yes, it's actually at the North Alabama War Dogs in Huntsville. They right now this is a preseason show game, and then of course just to kick off their season, there are also some pretty big into the esports area as well. They actually are partnering with another esports nonprofit called Esports AL. AL can stand for, I think it's adult learning or all level. But they are another nonprofit esports that partners with a for-profit called Divergence, which specializes in a lot of um, VR gaming. But also, they also run tournaments too as well. So it's one of our newest recent partnerships with them. We're excited about some upcoming events too as well for this. So yeah, this free game show is going to be pretty awesome. We're going to be doing like a Just Dance type thing. We only got about 10 minutes to do it, so it'll be really quick. It was a blast at Comic Con. They loved it at Comic Con. So they noticed that, saw it, and wanted us to do it at the show.
Okay. Okay. Man, a group of many different talents,
Nice.
showcasing and representing out there for the NCA. So man, big ups to you guys for putting on that show, man, and just supporting your whole entire scene and just getting them to get in there and just be interactive, outside of just fighting games. You guys dip your hat in other, like you said, nonprofit organizations. You work with them on getting events done too, as well. So, and hats off to you. You guys are really doing it out there, man. I see the growth. I see you guys out there making it happen, and that's what I like to see, man. A group that's sticking together and just helping out each other and making sure everyone else has a good time out there. So, big ups to you guys. So if you guys missed out on the previous episode, please go check it out on the Reboot Retrocade Gaming's YouTube channel for that season 1 and season 2 playlist for the few full episodes there. I also have it pinned on my Twitter page at Mind of Shadow Ace as well for the link. Last episode we were talking with New Jersey native for the win Space Boy Luke Player as he gave us his input on the game and got some tournament politics in general. So yes, if you guys want to check out that episode, it is archived on that channel. So now let's get into it. Before I mean, it's a lot to talk about. So hopefully, by the time we get through a couple three of these topics, we can, I don't want to take too much of you guys' time up. So give you guys some time to prepare up there for the event. But let's to understand the present. Sometimes we got to go to the past. We get to the origin story. We want to know the beginnings of new challenger approaching. Like, what is new challenger approaches? Like, Who are the core staff? Who are the members? How did this group come about?
Yo, that's a very, very funny story. Ryusuke was just carrying something inside the venue. He stopped and started laughing. So, funny story.
Yeah,
So,
go ahead. You can start off, Jeff.
yeah, so I didn't know this fella until the around the time when I guess we were playing Street Fighter 5 at the time, and he's a former employee at a certain GameStop, and like my brother worked over there as well, NCA Shomai, and he was like one of those guys that had a little interest in Street Fighter, didn't know too much about the FGC or anything like that. So we played in Street Fighter. My brother played him, and then he bopped him because he's like he didn't know about frame data or anything like that. And then he kind of started taking a deep dive into the FGC. So with that being said, the first game that me and him met on was Dragon Ball Z Fighters. Um, at the time, I think that was close around when Abigail dropped in Street Fighter 5, and I'm a Vega main, and like he was just destroying us like season one. I'm like, ah, God, this character. All right, let me take a break. So I went to Dragon Ball, first Dragon Ball tournament. That's where I met Ryusuke, and then from that point on, he was well. I'll let Ryusuke tell his side of the story. Go ahead, tell him how you was feeling out on our first meetup.
Yeah, so our first meetup, like you were saying, in the Dragon Ball tournament. So when I met his brother Shamai and he beat me in Street Fighter, of course I was like, man, I need to learn how they do that, what's going on. And then fast forward, he told me how his brother Negaman. He was like, oh man, yeah, he's good. He played Dragon Ball. I was like, oh man, kind of nervous. And we played online a couple of times and he beat me. And I was like, man, like, yeah, he's good. So this was the first tournament I actually entered, which is called Nerd Torch Cafe. It's actually in Opelika, Alabama. And we were invited to go to that tournament. And of course, me and Negaman played against each other. And it was my very first tournament. Again, remember, I work like 14 hours a day. I barely practice. I'm thinking like, man, this man been playing in FGC for over 10 years. Ain't no way I'm gonna be able to beat this guy. And I actually knocked him out the tournament, which is funny. Never making it out the tournament. And ever since then, he contacted me. So that's when me and Jeff actually got really cool, and he became like my second brother, and was like, "How did you like? What are you doing?" So I didn't know the FGC way of like, you beat somebody, you help them and train them. So he should come out to my house. What was like what every Saturday, just about, Jeff? Like he
Yep, it
came
was every
around every
Saturday.
Saturday, and we was playing against each other. He would win, I would win. He would win, I would win, and we were just like, you know what? I believe that there's because he didn't know I existed, and like how I was able to keep up with somebody who's been in FT for over 10 years, and I just learned frame data months ago. And he was like, you know what? I wonder if there's other people that's like me who would be interested into like a learning frame data and actually know that it's not how long you practice and play, is what you get out of it. And that's how NCA was born. It was so we was the base thing was we were looking for new people, new challenges. And then there you go.
Okay. You guys came together there and formulated that group. Now, I was looking at one of your event pages, and because I just want to see, um, as far as the members that are within the new challenger group. I only saw four. Were there any? Well, I only saw four names that were on the registration page for your upcoming event. I believe next weekend, but I only saw like four names. I think it was, yeah, Ryusuke, Negaman, Shonyi, and there was another. But were there any other members outside of just you guys four, or it was just you guys or just them? Or that's it. It's just you four.
Well, over the years,
Yeah.
oh, you go ahead, Ryusuke.
Oh, okay. Well, I was saying like, well, over the years when we first got started, there was a couple other members that we had that we was like first running tournaments out of their house, and we actually we work together and everything, but of course, sometimes have different disagreements, and Some people feel more passionate about, the dream than others. And of course, we kind of, separate a little bit. Um, and we formed like a new foundation when it came to Insect Shomai and Insect Katara. Insect Katara, which is actually her name, Caroline, she actually worked for me in GameStop, and she heard about what we was doing. I told her a little bit about it, and I was like, hey, you want to be a part of, like the going, and yeah, you're more than welcome. And because she's really passionate about games, and she's really passionate about getting things done, and the whole esports experience. And she became NCA Katara, which is one of another other co-founders. So it's kind of like we did like a small reboot per se, but other than that, we also have like our NCA volunteers that we have on our um, volunteer task. So yeah, anything you want to add, Jeff?
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's just been through, years and years of just like meeting different people, and we're all volunteer based and stuff. Like prior to this, we weren't really even a nonprofit. We were just working towards being a bigger and better FGC and doing things a little bit differently than done in the past. So yeah, our main ones, the main people that are always there inside of the core, or those people listed on that page. But since we're a nonprofit, we do get other volunteers from time to time.
Okay. And Ryusuke mentioned Nerd's Torch Cafe. I remember that. That's taking it back. That's taking it back. I remember I went to one of those events. It was in it was like a small town type of deal, like the office. Like I remember the building was like, it looked like it was like a tax office, probably like
Yeah.
a tax office type of building or something, like really small. But I remember that was like early Street Fighter Five though. When I went to that event, I think the owner at the time was like working on a comic book or something that he's gonna produce. Um, but yeah, that has been a long time. And it's been a long time since I've been to one of your events. I think the last one I went to, personally, was it was a Street Fighter Five tournament, and I think it was at like a bowling alley. And you guys have like just grown a lot since then. I remember Negro and Nice One was there. Nice One was playing Zeku, Street Fighter Five, and of course Negro was on Birdie. But you guys have grown a lot since then, and I'm pretty sure by now you guys have a lot of new players and new faces. And I bet if I went to a recent one, I probably wouldn't recognize, a good 80 or 70% of the people that are there now. So, that's a great thing, man. You guys have probably expanded the team, and you guys got a lot of new people in there. And I believe last time I saw one of the NCA Challenger guys was your brother, Negaman. Show me he was at the Junk Food Arcades, the Street Fighter Six Junk Food Arcade tournament that they had. He was up there, and before that, I believe that some of you guys went to the last KIT, and
Yeah.
they were running brackets out there. So yeah, that event, I remember that. You guys also had direct involvement with Comic Con and those events were recent. These events were recent. It was Comic Con and the earlier you mentioned the Sonic Fox versus the Waka Flocka, the M1 event. So Negaman, I saw your name in the credits as you being on their production with Bifuteki. And like, how did you guys get involved? Like, how did you get involved in that? And what was like the experience working with an event like that? Because I
So,
know, I'm sorry, go ahead.
oh no, no, you can finish.
Oh no, I was gonna say, I was like, yes, I know it was Waka was going up there, going up to 404 Esports a couple of times here in Georgia. But I'm like, how did that come about of you being on the main line of production for that type of event?
Well, well, Waka and Nobi Gaming, Fashion, they have a direct connection with New Challenger Approach, and we actually connected with them maybe about like 2.5 years into this. That's when we kind of met them, and we all like really hit it off really good. So we ended up like telling them about the FGC, and things like that because they weren't really like super familiar with it. And I'm like, yo, yeah, y'all stay in Atlanta. Shit, there's a lot of good places up there. You need to go check out 404. You need to go check out this spot and that sort of thing. So that's how they got aware of it. Like we kind of told them about the whole thing. We met them on a whole different tip, but we all was cool with each other and vibing. So prior to them even going out to 404, they actually came down to one of our events out in Auburn where we was doing like a tournament out in this like it was like a RV park and they had this big event warehouse and it was cool. Only problem, there wasn't no air. So we went out there. It was all right until we started cooking. But Waka pulled up and then people started taking pictures with him. And then there was like this whole thing going on Twitter talking about yo, get all your rappers to come pull up the locals. People was tagging P. Diddy and like Travis Scott, like, yo, Waka's up here, where you at? So it was just a good time. So from that, the whole Waka Flocka Sonic Fox thing, after that whole situation evolved and stuff like that, I was definitely in fashion. Nobi Gaming Fashion reached out to me and he was like, hey man, I'd like for you to be a part of this. You've been part of FGC for years. You've been doing like events for years and you work with KIT, you work with Comic Con. I'd like to have you a part of it. I was like, okay, cool. So eventually that would happen, and Bifuteki was taking care of all the streaming and things like that. So like I came up with the run of show, and was pretty much assisting everybody's making sure the broadcast goes smooth and we still stay on time and on task. As everybody knows, a lot of stuff happens with live production. So that's pretty much how it came to fruition. The NCA crew flew up there. It was myself, Ryusuke, and NCA Shomai, and we went up there. That was our first time up in New York, but we got to go be a part of that whole event, and we had a lot of fun. It was good seeing everybody, just celebrate the FGC, and it was a lot of positivity, man. And that's really what I wanted to see from that event. I know initially at some point there was a lot of other stipulations going on because the FGC FGC doesn't want to be taken advantage of, and they didn't know who Fashion was or what Nobi Gaming was, and there was a lot of type of stuff like that was going on. But y'all Nobi Gaming and Waka Flocka always show a lot of love towards NCA and to the Alabama FGC. So I wanted to assure everybody a part of that it was all legit. We just wanted to come up there and have fun. So it went really well. We were happy to be a part of it, and that's pretty much how it all came together.
Yeah, and I saw him. He attended several of your events too, as well, like locally. So it's like you guys. I mean, just more of like the chill on a chill basis, where okay, like how did us, people might be wondering, wait, how does Waka Flocka go into this event? Who are these guys? Stuff like that. And people want to know how you know them and stuff. So at least there we go. As far as just trying to get that connection going, man. And it can only go up from here, man. I mean, you guys are out there now. People are paying attention to what you guys got going on for your events. So streets are definitely watching, man. And I definitely want to wish you guys much continued success on on your journey, man. Like again, you guys keep working hard. You guys look. You guys are about to do a halftime show at a basketball game. It may be like only for a few moments, but the fact that you guys had the opportunity to do that, and they're trusting you to put on that event, that's amazing, man. That is amazing. So much success to new challenger and the team, man. You guys are up there, man. But
Appreciate it.
yeah, yeah. Let me ask this question. So this is gonna be like kind of get the gears going to where we're gonna what we're gonna talk about as far as Street Fighter and Street Fighter 6 before we dive into that. So this is just kind of like a little quick exercise that I would like to do to get everybody's brain to thinking a little bit. It's probably super easy to solve, but here you go. I'm just gonna give y'all a riddle and see if y'all could just answer this riddle. So the riddle is a man in a Nissan Sentra car drives down the road and sees three different buildings with a gold door, a silver door, and a bronze door. Which door does he open first?
Silver.
You say the silver door?
Yep.
Okay. Okay. Retro, what about you?
I say bronze.
Say bronze door? Okay. Reed said he's probably not here. Oh, okay. All right. So yeah,
Gold door, bronze door. Sorry,
yeah, yeah.
one more
Okay. Yeah. All right. Let's read the riddle again. All right. So a man in a Nissan Sentra car drives down the road and sees three different buildings with a gold door, a silver door, and a bronze door. Which door does he open first?
silver.
He opens the silver one. Okay. All right. So we got two silvers and a.
Silver, yeah. I would go with silver door.
All right. we got two silver doors and a bronze door. Okay. Those are your final answers.
Yeah.
Final answer. All
Yep.
right.
Yeah.
All right. You want to know? All right. Then the answer is gonna be he opens the car door. I said a man in a Nissan Sentra car drives down the road and opens
Oh
the car
my
door
gosh,
first.
no. I fell
Well,
for it. It's one of those
yeah.
Yeah, it's all good. Yeah, yeah. But that's gonna get the wheels
Yeah, you
turning
got
for the rest of the conversation. So I'm glad y'all it made y'all think a little bit. Yo, but it's all good though, man. Yeah, he opens the car door first.
Wow.
That's good. Though.
Yeah, it's all right. All right. So yeah, we gonna dive into dive into discussion now. So, Aki just dropped, she just dropped a few weeks ago, and this is basically what I like to call an Aki aftermath. So what do you guys think about that character, and what do you guys think about the season pass for Street Fighter 6 so far with the characters that are coming out? Like, cause it's four, and they're doing like a seasonal thing. So, like, how do you guys feel about that?
Well, if I could start off, Aki looks pretty interesting. I haven't. I'm gonna be honest. We've been super busy for these past 2 weeks, so I haven't been able to dive. But I'm actually going to be doing a whole dive next week into just Street Fighter, so I can play our locals and hopefully don't get bopped too bad. But Aki looks pretty cool. I do like the archetype. I do like the I like pokey characters anyways, and I'm happy to see she's kind of feeding that need. I'm not too sure about. I know I know that she does poisons and things like that, but I'm still gonna be playing catch up. I ain't gonna lie. But however, speaking on the character pass, I do like the fact that we got we're always gonna see a couple of characters from the previous games and stuff like that come in. So I'm okay with with Rashid and Ed. I'm actually happy to see Ed come back. I thought his character was actually pretty cool. And Akuma. I'm okay with all three of those characters and stuff like that. Aki was a new one, so I wasn't sure what to expect. But overall, I like the character archetype. I like the fact that it feeds a certain need in the game with the poison, Edge character, and footsies and with the potes and things like that. I'm happy to see that, but like I said, I don't know too much. I've been busy for the past 3 weeks, so excuse me.
Nah, it's all good though. Eventually you get some time to check out the characters, see how they feel. But yeah, it's definitely interesting how they're approaching for the season pass. I know back in Street Fighter Five we had what it was six characters a season and for the season, and now we're getting just four characters every season. Every one season. So it's interesting how they're going to stretch this out, and I think it's a good idea. I think it's a good idea of just kind of just keeping the DLC characters a bit fresh. I don't know how they're going to approach it in season two. If they're still going to do the same thing where you get one character every season or not. But yeah, Aki for the most part, she's a really technical character. A lot of some people might have written her off as like being not too good already, and I'm like, bro, you just need more time with the character. She might not play a certain way that you may have expected her to play, or she might not be this or that, but she is definitely in the right hands. She's definitely going to be a problem character. I can see it now. But yeah, retro. What you think about Aki?
She's really fun to me. I said, I think, like I said, I think she's strong, but I don't think she's like ridiculous and strong, which is not a bad thing. Like I figured that like we're about it. Hopefully, over time, people will find flaws within her and issues that she'll have. But the way I looked at it is that she actually is an answer for many things. Like you saw obviously in the trailer, and then of course you tested out against him. Like JP's a strong character. Oh my gosh, no one can get past JP's wall of this and that, psycho power, and everything, blah blah blah. It's like she kind of answers that. Like, well, here's the character now. That's that solution to that balance. Because there was a lot of complaints about JP being a strong character, and still is to this day. But the fact that you have someone like her, even if she may be super strong and ridiculous on her own, she can still be a good solution to dealing with a matchup or whatever. And then like the thing is, I found like I played her a few times and she's really fun. I actually like the movement. I like how she resembles her master a bit, and then of course she has her own like uniqueness to it, and it makes it really cool. The combos, the way she does combos, is like the execution on it and the how each of the poison adds property. It's so many layers. She's kind of complex, which is a fun, great thing. And not saying that not in the other characters don't have that, but she is a really good in addition. It gives you, like I said, I like that mix of that familiarness if you play a little bit of Fawn before in Street Fighter Five versus her own. They have her own thing at the same time. Um, I think later down the line, I'm not sure, but I think she's still going to be a fun character to play with regardless. And like I said, definitely I haven't really labbed too much with her, but I already know that like some of the players in our scene, of course, picked her up, and those who played Fawn before or those like tricky movements and stuff like that, they are definitely enjoying her for sure.
Yeah, and it's just gonna take some time. That's all to just to flesh out the character a bit. You know, you already don't take a look at people. You look at people's tier lists, and you might see a character that you might disagree with, or be like, bro, nah, this character is actually good if you do this, this, and this. And that's what I like about this game is that all the characters are really viable in tournaments. Anybody can do work and get touched with the characters in this game. So it's a lot of room for experimentation for sure. And she's definitely one of those characters that has a lot of different routes to her combos and her extensions and setups that she can do. So I'd say give it
Definitely.
some more time until that one
Hmm.
player like takes it to the next level and then just starts cooking. But we'll see what happens though. We'll see what happens. But move on. This is actually we're gonna get this one out the way early, and this is actually a big one. This next topic here. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry. Let me before I get there. Ryusuke, did you have any thoughts on Aki? How she feels, or if you tried her out?
So okay, for Aki, I think she's okay. I touched her. I played a little bit when I was at Comic Con. Um, she feels very cheap. The poison seems pretty OP, which again, but I love her design. That's the biggest thing I like about her. Her design is pretty cool. I think the characteristics is pretty cool. But yeah, their character seems like he's gonna be a problem. Well, he already is being a small problem, but especially for my man,
Oh,
you know, wrestler. So, but yeah,
yeah. I guess she has a lot going on with her kit. So yeah, like I said,
yeah, she
give
does.
it some time. Yeah, give it some time. To somebody gonna find some wild situation. I mean, she can already put you in like a miniature like throw loop kind of thing where she got and again somebody if she touch you with meter, she taking off a good chunk of damage, and then she got poison on
Oh
top of
yeah.
that you got to deal with too as well. So you trying to
Hmm.
hit her and she just blocking it and you just see the poison going down on you. So so it's definitely an interesting
Right. It's a
character
very
and
distraction. Yeah,
hmm
she makes a lot go going on like it's a doggone Dragon Ball Z game going on. But yeah, she interesting though.
Putting you in them
Again,
blenders.
I'm a
Yeah.
Marissa May. Maybe not my cup of tea when they're playing her, but I tell you what, whoever do master her, hey, I don't want to fight you. Not in the finals, please.
Nah, because you know what you're doing.
Yeah,
Especially
you know
they
what you're
get
doing.
really
Somebody,
far in the
he's
bracket. You know what you're doing.
yeah, grand finals, like yeah, nah, bro. Let's go ahead and get
No,
this
you
man
got it.
the prize money. Let me take that player to
You
that
got
second
it.
place.
I want to turn purple.
Yeah, I want to turn purple, like no purple here.
Nah. But yeah, that was just want to see how you guys feel because we got Ed coming out in a few months, and we'll see how that goes when that character comes out. Personally excited, but
Yeah.
you know, we'll see what happens. But let me ask y'all this. Let me ask you this because this is actually a big one, and we'll get this one out the way early, man. Now
Okay.
on social media, I was looking at uh, Sonic. So we posted a topic of are people like pretending to like Street Fighter 6. He responded to like a meme or something with a video clip of players like expressing their frustration while playing the game. Um, so Sonic Soul just yesterday, I believe he was dropping a video clip, and he was of a variety of different people expressing themselves in the moment playing the game. Like most of the complaints were like, "Oh, the inputs are not coming out," or "Drive Rush is, people are just only winning on Drive Rush and they don't got real footsies and stuff." And I feel like the entire game is designed around that mechanic, and if this game is gonna make it so far, it's what we're only 5 months in, and you kind of see people. You might see a friend or two, or a player or two might not be feeling the game like that, and it's like, nah, man, I don't really like the game like that, and I'm just gonna just chill for a little bit, or something, or they might come back, or we'll see if they can get it addressed in the big season 2 patch. Because apparently a majority of the complaints were based around that. The input thing first blew my mind right away because I never had that issue in Street Fighter 5. Like, and in Street Fighter 4, as an old El Ferte main, I would rarely get like a dead zone input issue when I couldn't cancel a run near the corner. But other than that, it wasn't too bad. But the fix was the quote unquote fix that it wasn't really a fix is that, turn on negative edge button release. Hell, a new player, they will not even know about that feature unless they explored it in the options menu. Capcom actually had to patch that into the character select. So I guess at this point you would say the honeymoon phase is over for the game. The embargo is lifted, and are people pretending to like the game, or can they express themselves and say that they don't like the game? Like, what's really going on? Because we're not even in
Yeah.
year one, and I'm trying to figure out how people really feeling about the game.
That's why I put
You
that
know?
meme there. I just made that
All right.
last minute.
But first of all, I like the pictures you posted up. Funny. Okay, so my thoughts on that. I play Jamie, and Jamie's really fun. And let me let you know right off the bat, this ain't no Street Fighter 4 level of difficulty when it comes to inputs and things of that nature. However, having dead zone button inputs and things like that can definitely ruin an experience when you know, you got combos that you're trying to do or you're trying to answer something. And no disrespect to y'all DJs, but this is coming. You playing neutral, man man throws out the old dry rush, and you
Yeah.
swear you press jab, but guess what? Input got 8. He comes over there and grabs it. You're like, all right, I'm gonna stop him. So now you are now mashing it and you bait it. You know what I'm saying? So like the whole I don't know why. I don't know why that is a big design flaw in my opinion. You might want to I guess maybe you will. I'm trying to understand the philosophy behind the way of thinking when you implemented that. Like, okay, maybe you wanted to stop them from people getting accidental inputs or whatever. Okay, I get it from that perspective. But at the same time, to make nothing come out isn't really a good answer in my opinion. That being said, I am As far as like people liking the game and the embargo possibly dropping, I think we're in another age, another golden age of fighting games because we just got done. Mortal Kombat just came out, Street Fighter's out, Tekken's right on the horizon, and Project L and all this other stuff. So there's multiple games to be enjoyed and to love and stuff like that. Mind you, we live in a different era altogether because most of this stuff we got good internet. After all these years, we
Hmm.
finally got good internet. So I just I think that, and I saw that Sonic Soul video, I thought it was hilarious. I believe that, I can understand the frustrations that come from having your input eaten and potentially having somebody scrub you out just because they're getting away with some crazy stuff. It happens, all right? It happens. But as a fighting game player, the thing that makes every fighting game player great is how do you adjust to said situation. All right, this dude's going to spam this because he knows he's going to win. He's know that it's beat me right now. What can I do to stop him from continuing to be spammy with this, uh, cheap or lame tactic. So as a fighting game player, I still like to hold myself as responsible for some things, but when it comes to a design flaw, there's only so much you can do. I believe that was a design flaw. I still love Street Fighter 6, but still a design flaw in my opinion.
Design flaw. Okay. I mean, and again, they weren't really going to address make any big changes until after season one is over with. So is it because you mentioned all those other titles, Tekken, Mortal Kombat, there's a variety of fighting games that are out right now. Sam Show is getting ready, to getting this rollback, and that's on the horizon too as well. So there are other options out there at the moment. So if someone feels so strongly about disliking the game, they're kind of putting themselves through torture trying to play something they're not really enjoying like that. And I think that kind of creates the negative impact that can create like a chain of events. Because especially with people who have like who are like really like large influencers, but like a strong viewership base too as well, because they kind of take what those players are saying and they kind of like regurgitate it a little bit and be like, oh, okay, yeah, this player said that this game is actually not that great. And, I agree with them. Like, do you really agree with them? Or, are you forming your own opinion about how you feel about the game? I mean, granted, there are definitely some issues. I'm not gonna say the game is far from perfect, but it is better than when Street before it was better than Street Fighter V's launch, most definitely. Again, but you have we're kind of like playing the game as it is right now. A lot of people, they're just not a fan of it. They may have just stepped down, or they may be playing something else right now. So, the fact that and it's interesting because over time, like I can give you guys an example, like Stack Bradford, he runs like stream team battles, and he's stepping down from running the stream team battles for Street Fighter Six. So basically, he would just take a group of players with different rankings and put them into like a 5v5 team battle type scenario. Then, and he, as a director of that event, he said he's not really feeling the game at the moment, but he might return if in the future, probably after Akuma drops or something, or if they overhaul like a balance patch on the game. Because personally, I feel like the game is like in an odd place right now, and for it to be so early with people feeling this way, kind of has me thinking, did we like to did we like dismiss Street Fighter Five a little too early? Like, what's going on? It's in an odd place right now because it's kind of like depending on what area I would say depending on what area you're in, like what scene you're a part of, how they feel about the game. Like just ask like just ask like the local players how they feel about the game, and I guarantee you might get one or two answers that's be like, bro, I don't know, man, I don't really know about this game anymore, right? And that's kind of like how I feel what I think that kind of feels like that sums up perfectly on how Street Fighter Six is at the moment. But what do you guys well, retro? What do you think about that?
Personally, I am very much enjoying Street Fighter Six. This is coming from being a person who and actually ironically I have not really competed in the game, but I have played against players who are really strong players, um, who really already pretty much got down pat. And one thing I will say though, it is a lot you have to kind of keep watch on how in that game because you have so much to focus on for the mechanics. You have the drive system, the defense options, the offense options. It's a lot, and I can understand for those at times it can see a little bit overwhelming. But overall, it feels like I really like I can enjoy. I enjoy the game. I can't. I don't feel myself being bored of it personally. It is you want. I want to say it is kind of odd to think about it. Looking out, but outside looking in to other people who are feeling like a certain way they're done with it and the honeymoon phase is kind of over type of thing. Because I remember leading up to what was going on in Street Fighter Five, people were ready to let go of that game. For as far as I know our scene was, for example, and they were like, "No, Street Fighter Five is done. We are ready for Street Fighter Six. I'm excited for this. It's gonna have this." Of course, when they showcased the features and all, people was going crazy. They were like, "Oh man, it has footsies, it has whatever features." And for me, I was excited because the way it introduced a lot of stuff felt like, yeah, it's very promising. I think Capcom, for me, like lived up to the promise for the most part, and you can kind of tell like how they're not really patching immediately after someone claimed that okay, this is got to get nerfed, this is sucks, this blah 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 blah. They kind of like really seeing things trying to play out, and for me, and like I said, it's not a perfect game, but it feels like it's a ton better design overall and featured than what the previous game did. And playing it, I didn't experience too much of the input issues so forth like that. But even if I did at times, it doesn't feel like it felt it was unplayable or really like put me in a bad spot. I honestly think like this game really is very well polished. I mean, it still has a few things that are going to be fixed and patched, fixed up a bit. As far as how the mechanics are, and people know, example, the perfect parry situation. That's like a very popular, well, not very popular, but that's one thing that someone famous complain about a lot and stuff like that. It's where I don't think that something that should be touched, for a little bit of time. I think like I said, what Capcom is doing to let it play out and see how it really affects not only just the pro players, whatever, or certain players. I want to see that kind of still like everyone feels the same way. But overall, I think, and you see so many people that fights back and forth with the different opinions about it. But personally, I really enjoy it. I really love this game a lot more than I thought. You know, is a still Street Fighter. If it's this the best Street Fighter game? Maybe personally, I, and that's how I feel about it. If y'all don't agree, I understand. But I think for me, I really like this game way more than I ever expected to.
Okay.
That's a hot take. I'm gonna
Yeah.
slide
That
back in
is
on
that
it.
is that is very interesting. Okay, that is the first I've heard of that. But okay, I mean I respect it. I respect it. What did you guys think?
Just going off of what was just said about the game being one of well the best Street Fighter in his opinion, I can agree with that. Because like when every Street Fighter comes out, let's be real. When the new system mechanics are out there, people are going to complain. When Street Fighter 4 came out and we had the focus attacks and things like that, we had to learn to deal with. People hit you with meaty focus attacks and all this other crap. Had to figure out how to get around it. And then FADC into Shoryuken. There's a lot of crazy stuff in Street Fighter 4. I don't even want to get started on that. But my point is, every time a new Street Fighter game comes out, there's always going to be some jank stuff in the beginning, and then we're going to learn to adjust. I do agree with the fact that you shouldn't, like, for a system mechanic like Perfect Parry to be touched so soon. I agree. Let's give it some time. Let the meta
Mm-hmm.
continue to evolve. Continue to let the meta evolve. You know what I'm saying? Mind you, like it's not like super strong like Perry was in Third Strike. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right.
Mind you, the inputs in Third Strike was a lot more harder and tight to do, but at the
Really?
same time, they already toned down Perry itself. So,
Mm.
it's like one of those like zones you really like it can easily make or break a situation or the game in that sense. So I agree with that. But as a whole package, yeah, Street Fighter 6 definitely like raised the bar. We had the casual mode for the casual people, which is important, right?
Right, right.
And that's how you span the community. So you have the whole story mode, you got the arcade mode, then you got all the other stuff for the tryhards like us. You know what I'm saying? So on just on that tip alone is good. The gameplay is fun. I love the I mean I love the game. I can't say that I don't. The only thing is we just want it to be better, and everybody wants their character to do better and stuff like that. So
Mm-hmm.
I do like the only character that I feel like is a little ridiculous is JP, of course. And
Not gonna argue against
like
that.
yeah, like he's just like I get he can get a whole combo off of his little counter, and then my thing is like, yo, I gotta guess what he's gonna do, and then if I grab him, he can break the grab, and then I gotta block, and here's the miss. You know what I'm saying? It's just it's a lot. He just needs to get toned down like a little bit because I feel like everybody's playing Street Fighter, he's playing anime. So
Yeah.
I could see I could see where he might want to get toned down a little bit. But
Mm-hmm.
if I'm just talking about changes and stuff, of course I want to talk about buffing my boy Jamie. It ain't too much I ask for. Just give me a little bit more damage when it comes to my combos. And I think that's it. I'm
Okay.
okay. I'm okay with losing the I mean, losing the drinks. Okay, I'm all right there because Jamie gets a little ridiculous when he has all his drinks. Just give me a little bit more damage on Rekka combos, and that's it.
Mm. All
Okay.
right.
This a little just a little adjustment, a little small tweak here and there,
Yeah.
and yeah, I mean, I think overall package, yeah, Street Fighter Six is great. There's a lot of features and things that keep people active, and now they're doing the Chipotle tournaments that are going live there, so that kind of gives people more things to do. If they want to compete in tournaments and stuff. So I think that's a great feature to add in video games. And I don't know if you guys may have entered or took a look at that feature that they got now for the tournament mode in the battle hub. But
I haven't been able to
that
check it.
okay.
I
Yeah,
haven't got a
but
chance to
but
check out yet.
basically yeah, so yeah, basically with that feature that just lets people enter tournaments. It sends them to like different lobbies and stuff, and they could just try their hand at competing and winning like some drive tickets and like some avatar stickers and stuff like that. But I think that is really important and to getting someone who's not too confident in their gameplay that actually can get them into the competing mindset for that, just to enter tournaments off of just the strength of competing in so many of those, and they're daily too, and they happen at different times. So I think that's a great feature that they added in Street Fighter 6. I know Street Fighter 5 had a tournament feature, but it was offline for like 6 years. It didn't work until like the last year or so of the game. So the fact that it's running this features, it's gone live within the first few months of the game. That's a good sign that yeah, they do have a lot of quality of life fixes in the works for this game. I mean, they're doing a lot of advertising. They're doing a lot of cross promotions with different companies. They did it with they had a Japanese clothing store. They did it. They did it with Ninja Turtles, and now they're doing it with Chipotle, and the sky's the limit of who they're going to collaborate with next. So, it's very interesting that they're putting in so much effort as a package to make something like that happen. So, again, every Street Fighter has some jank to it. Every one, every I guess the most balance, quote unquote balance one would be what Street Fighter One, but even that has some jank in it too. It wasn't you hit a DP and then you take half of your opponent's life or something, or the input was like really hard to do in Street Fighter One just to do a fireball or something. But yeah, I think for the most part, once people get settled in on the mechanics, because remember, you got 7 years of programming from Street Fighter Five, and hell, I just the other day I went back to just play around with Street Fighter Five, like using Rashid, and I kept trying to drive rush and drive impact. So that's I'm kind of like got to retune myself, try to figure out some things there because I couldn't play Rashid in five anymore. I was like,
Yeah.
I kept trying. I was like, hold up, did I really just try to do drive impact? Wait
Actually,
a minute, what's going on?
actually, it was
What's
funny
going
too.
on? But
Oh yeah, sorry. No, it was funny
no,
too
no, go
because
ahead, go
actually
ahead.
we had Super Turbo tournament actually last weekend, and I was playing DJ in that, and I played against Cut West, who's like really good, one of the best players in our area for that. And in my head, I like, okay, he's a charge character, and then like I can't parry, I can't do this, I can't do that, and my DP is hitboxes this and this. So it really was interesting to relearn it. Like I know how to play Super Turbo, and I know like some of the crazy stuff about it, and so that's why I had to pick a character I didn't normally play. Um, in Street Fighter Six, that I play no that I played Street Fighter Two was Zangief, and it's like, and then I saw like wait, and then I played against the guy Cut West T Hawk, which is basically one of the worst characters in the game. But the thing is, he has a situation he knows where it get knocked down. If there's a 50 there's an option select situation, then there's a way like I can't escape, and I really like was stuck. I got hit with a condor dive, and I was in the corner, jab, command grab, and I'm like, wait, I can't jump out of this. And in my head, I'm like, I can escape. No, I can't backdash. So it was weird to go back like 25 plus years of knowledge, and like we learned that okay, all the stuff that the mechanics and the features in Street Fighter Six is not Street Fighter Two. Oh, this is where it happens when you don't have those type of mechanics. And when you get hit, you might be dead. And I forgot. Oh yeah, I got stunned like in 2 hits. And two of our best players who played, actually Shadow who plays Lily in Super Street Fighter Six plays T Hawk in Street Fighter Two, and I think that was his first time playing it. So he tried, and because he was like, "Hey, does T Hawk has this new move?" No, like no, he doesn't have Counter Spire. No, he doesn't have thing with Lily. That's not safe on block. That's punishable. That's this and this. So he tried to play it, and like no, there's no modern either. So and it was funny because he was like struggling a lot trying to play T Hawk like play Lily, and I'm like nope, there's no backdash, there's no invincibility frames, there's nothing, and it was great. It was great for him to experience that. So yeah,
Yeah,
and
I
I
And
mean
think
yeah. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I think that was just
just
one.
think,
Yeah,
oh, I'm sorry.
no, you got it. Yeah.
Oh, you go ahead. You go.
Yeah, I was just like just speaking on, the idea of like what's, accessibility. Let's just talk about that because we're talking about, the things that was
Yeah.
brought into this game, like to have the casual audience stay there, the tournaments, the fun little story, and then like, create your own customer character. That stuff is really cool. Like
Mm-hmm.
from a casual standpoint, like what I used to play back in Street Fighter when I was just casually gaming, Street Fighter Alpha 3 dramatic battles and team battles and stuff like that, that
Man,
was super fun back in the day
so
and it
much
kept
fun.
me playing and it eventually got me to this point where I'm, been doing this kind of seriously. So like my my thing is like, modern controls, right? I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
speak on that.
All right.
Modern controls, I think modern controls are here to stay. Like it's not gonna go away. There's no reason for it to go away. I know it might piss off a certain player base, but ultimately you opening the game to be more accessible. Because a casual person, from casual perspective, this is how they think. I don't want to have to play 20 hours a week to get get good at these combos. I just want to come in, mash some buttons, have some fun, and win every now and then. That's what a casual person cares about. Now, if they want to go further than that, that's the gateway for that. So that's cool. It's kind of like not sure if you guys remember this post, but it was like when Grand Blue Rising's director was talking about how they're taking the penalty away from simple inputs.
Yep.
Like he wrote a whole big post about it. As a company, you want as many people to play your game as possible. That's just off of the business standpoint. So it makes no sense for us to gatekeep people from playing by penalizing them for like using a simple input. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And I get that. That's a design philosophy. You want as many people to play as possible. So I get it. Now, mind you, does email like playing a modern Geef? No, not really. You know what I'm saying? You jump, you're getting scooped. He's going to be ready to. I seen a guy just like he was a DJ and he kept on trying to drive a rush in, and he just kept on getting scooped every time. And it's just like you can't be mad at the person playing the game using the tools that the game was designed around. That's a design. That's a design philosophy for the whole game. So just on that tip, I'm okay with monitor controls. I think it's perfectly fine to use in tournaments because ultimately we want more people to play these games. That's how these games are going to continue to be made, and the FGC is going to grow.
Yeah, it's hard to please everybody. At the end of the day, you're someone's gonna end up getting mad at something. In regards, like I even put up a poll on my page about how people felt about a modern player. So if a modern player had beat you in a tournament, is it GG's take my hand? And a lot of people did say yes, but there were a couple of people out there who said nah, that is not GG's because they're not using the classic controls and the inputs, so they may see it as it being cheating, or they just don't respect the person for just picking that control scheme. But you think about it, this is kind of like you said, this is the future of what fighting games now. We want there will be more accessibility options to get people to come in because people they have to buy the product, right? If you made a
Right.
game that had like super strict inputs and crazy pretzel motions and stuff. To the average casual person, they're not gonna try to, do all of that stuff all the time. They're gonna look at the input, laugh, and then, probably go play something else where they don't got to deal with that. And those are the type of people they need to come in to play the game. Not to take a shot at I just give an example, but not to take a shot at KOF 15. Even KOF 15, they have auto combo. They got auto combos in KOF 15. The previous KOF titles, they didn't have that option. This is something that was just recently added into the game because this is what the current meta is evolving. And you do have those, lower ranked players that their whiff punish or their biggest punish is I'm just gonna run up to you and just press one button to do a 30 to 40% combo without me having to try to do any of the inputs. And they like that. They enjoy that. And that's the casual base that has to be tailored to, because again, if you make a game with those really, a really strong meta, something for the more hardcore seasoned players and stuff like that, you're not gonna get too many people to play your game. I'm just gonna be honest. Like you could take an anime game, it could be like a new, let's say for example, a new My Hero Academia game, a fighting game or something, right? And to do the inputs for the special moves, the move list looks crazy to do them. But if they made it like where it's as simple to do the special moves and stuff, you might get people to check the game out simply because all right, it's a more ease of access type of thing. But that also lets me go into another question because it's like, if are companies forced to go this route? Are they forced to make these controls to get these casual players just to try out their product? And why is that a thing? Like why would a company need to do that for them to host that product? Like, and another example I can give you would be Samurai Showdown. So in Samurai Showdown, that game is not very combo heavy, right? It's more line of just footsies, or like one big hit could take like 30 to 40% of your health, and it does have like it has simple mechanics in that, right? But there is some depth behind those mechanics because you still have to do the SSM motion, the super special move motion, which is what may be difficult to the casual, first time player to do that input, but they can still do a lot of damage just off of just pressing buttons. But there is depth to it. But that's just an example of how companies are leaning towards that aspect of just getting people to come in for those options. Now, Tekken 8 is on the horizon, but I think even Tekken 8 has like an assist mode now, right? Where you can just press and hold the button, and then you can just do combos with just pressing, different buttons and stuff. So I don't know, man. The modern controls, I think most people are over them right now. Of course, some people may feel a certain way about them, but for the most part, they're here to stay because people are starting to figure out that modern controls are actually pretty good. They're actually kind of decent on certain characters. And yes, you do lose certain normals. Your damage input is lower by doing the special moves, but you have the ease of access of doing that. Like for example, Manon on modern controls, bro, all I gotta do is press one button for the command grab and tilt you, and then once I get five, I can get really good damage. Or one button SPD Geef. Come on, man. That's it's out there. Like for example, in retro scene, what Chato, right? The Lily player, he's playing modern now, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
He's using, yeah, he's using modern. He didn't use that before, but he must have found something where it's like, all right, I think I could try to make this work with this particular mode. And he's actually he's won a tournament or two, and he's gotten top three. Ever since the switch over, and he's starting to become a major threat down there with modern Lily. So again, can't sleep on nobody. It is an accessibility option. It might not be everybody's cup of tea, but at the end of the day, this is where fighting games are gonna have to try to like out to just to get people to come in to play it. But I don't know. How do you guys feel about that?
Well,
Um,
I'll let the guys
you
talk.
go ahead.
Um, no, I'll let the guys. I'll just go first because you probably say something that I can agree with anyway.
Okay. Just on the fact of just where I see like fighting games going in the future, as far as like modern controls. I had a discussion with a friend of mine, and I was saying, and this might be a little crazy to think about, but everybody knows Daigo's Evo moment, right? And and there were certain factors that made that moment more special than others, right? I think, and this is just me. This may be a hot take, but I think another moment like that might not never happen again in fighting games. Because fighting games, every iteration is like, especially I'll say after Street Fighter 4, is easier than the one prior to it, input wise and that sort of thing. So, thing about Third Strike, Daigo had to parry all these moves, then combo, and then cancel all that stuff out on the super while people yelling, screaming behind him. It was an Evo moment. So like the factors that made that happen, might not be there anymore. And I say that in the sense of just like inputs, right? Because games are progressively getting easier,
Mm,
at least fighting games in particular. And I say they're getting easier in the sense of the level of input because we talked about modern mode. You know what I'm saying? So once a game gets to the point where, I can perfect parry your stuff just by mashing, right? Versus me having to time that to a tenth of a frame and me guessing the right between the high and the low. I only have to guess between the high and the low now. I just gotta press these two buttons, right? It takes a certain it takes that special ingredient that made that moment last as long as it's been lasting, right? So we might not see an evil moment, but like that ever again. But the trade off is the FGC in itself is getting bigger. There's more opportunities. There's more people playing, fighting games now than ever. It seems right. So with that in mind, you know, I'm okay. The old man in me is sad to see some of those things go, but I'm happy to see more people enjoying what we love. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, then yeah, definitely at the end of the day, it is about getting people to actually play. You have to get people to sign up and enter these events, right? And having those extra options to allow that person to compete with X amount of players, this is it. This is what we're going to venture towards. And games like this, with that option, I remember was asking if Under Night, if it had like a not an easy mode, but like something where can they do the move by themselves or something? No, can if I press a button, can it just do the special move? So I guess that is easy mode. But yeah. But I was like, no, I don't think it has that in there. But but yeah, people want to just ask if they want to venture out to other games, how they're going to learn. But I think the Battle Hub feature in Street Fighter 6 is definitely a perfect start for getting newer players to be uh more active in trying to, even if it doesn't work out for them, they can always come back to it, and go and experiment into other things. But let me go ahead and dive into the next topic here, which I like to call survivalist. So special theme tournaments, hosting events that are not normally hosted to draw in numbers. So this past recently we had CU Taku that had Street Fighter 6 and NK1, which is like more likely been known as an anime themed event. And as a TO, is this a good thing or a bad thing? I can give you an example. So Smash Brothers usually, well, I guess depending on where you're at, has usually brings in really good numbers, at the venue, like that normally host regular fighting game tournaments. Is the attendance needed for that venue? That's also a thing to get looked at, because the venue owner by like, well, if not that many people are coming in to the place. I don't know if I want to keep hosting this event, but you have to wonder how TOs are going to look at this as number wise. Like, are you going to just host whatever game that brings in the most numbers, or do you just go off of how do you guys determine your game roster? Let me put it like that. I start off. I'll start off with you. Uh, Amen.
With who?
Hey man, is he there? Did we lose him?
I know it's muted.
Oh,
My
Oh, there
bad.
you
I'm
go.
sorry. I was talking and I forgot to unmute myself. Um, so I see that just looking at the so we gotta realize certain things, like that the climate for fighting games has changed. We are no longer chained by terrible internet. Most games have rollback, and rollback is much way better than the delayed based internet of the past. It was things of nightmares. So people are more inclined to stay at the house now. That's the trade off. Like, we get better internet, but less people are more likely to pull up, and then pull in other past events with COVID. Certain people still paranoid about events and things like that. So the world has changed in that sense. So with those things in mind, ultimately at the end of the day, if it's a physical event at a venue that's nice and enjoyable, then we have to find a way to offset the prices. That's something that every TO has to keep in mind. So I'm gonna do. I'm gonna like I me personally. There's a game that I would love to play all the time. It's an old anime game called Yu Yu Hakusho Final. I got Hiei in there. I would watch anybody in that game. Just throwing it out. But like, I love that game. But at the same time, that's not going to pull the numbers. We need to have something that can support our community. Because like recently within Alabama,
Mm-hmm.
in the Mobile scene, we had a big one of the big heads in Mobile closed down their stores. It was called Engage Gaming, and what they had was very nice. Not sure if y'all ever been there, but it was like in an old Walmart, and it was like half tabletop games, the other half was just esports stuff. and it had a bunch of arcade machines in the back, Killer Instincts, War Gods, Mortal Kombat, a lot of cool stuff. That place was open for years, but it didn't survive. They just closed it down. Like it's going to be closing at the end of this month. So I'm saying that to say that we need to have games to have people out there, and we have to, you know, the hardcore guys are going to keep on coming out, but sooner or later they're going to grow up, right? They're going to grow up. They're going to have families, and they're just not going to be able to come out like they used to. So that's why it's important to engage the casual audience. That's literally what we're doing currently up here. Like I'm me personally, I haven't heard of an esports thing at a actual sporting event. Like we're at a basketball stadium. I've been watching people walk in. I know Ryusuke is probably in there talking to people, and we got our little setup up here. You have to engage the casual audience to feed the venue, and then the hardcore guys still have somewhere to come. We can still host the tournaments and stuff like that, and do stuff bigger. So you have to do what what's going to feed the venue. So when it comes like I got no problem. Like I was at Comic Con, dude was like, "Yo, I saw you was hyping up Tekken. Now you over here on the mic for Just Dance." I said, "You don't see who's over here? There was 60 people over there, and it was mostly women. And let's be real, fellas gonna follow wherever the women go, which they did. So you gotta do what you gotta do to pay the bills. And I say that in the sense to not compromise yourself, but be realistic.
Okay. Okay, you guys, you definitely have that format game plan down, and that can also transition to other things because that'll also pique curiosity. Like, say if some like you guys host an event and you guys host your Just Dance, tournaments or events too as well, or make like a free to enter Mario Kart event as well. You know, those spectators they might hang around and watch the other fighting games. You know, the hardcore dudes go fight, and they might pique their interest. They're like, oh okay, oh this game looks pretty interesting. What's the name of this one? And somebody tells them, oh yeah, that's the new Mortal Kombat 1, that's the new Street Fighter 6, that's the new Tekken 8 or whatever that just dropped. And oh man, this looks interesting. I wonder how you play this, right? And they just can watch and spectate. And then if you keep them coming back with certain events and things, they're gonna eventually enter, right? Because their curiosity has peaked and they're becoming a regular to your event. So I think that is definitely an interesting approach for tournaments to host, like maybe like a one free game or something, just to get them to get a taste of a competitive atmosphere, because more than likely they're going to stick around and watch, and spectate the other games, and they might say, "Yo, one day I'm going to enter this. I'm gonna buy this game today, or I'm gonna get my parent to buy me this to buy me this game today, and I'm gonna go home and practice." So, you
100%.
know, yeah, and that's happened. That's happened with a lot of players, that I've heard of. They just came just to spectate, or they just came to just to enter this free tournament, and it's like, "Yo, I'm gonna enter this tournament next time." Bet, and then boom, there you go.
Right.
Segue.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like guys might have, I don't know if you guys have like business cards or something that you may pass out at events for people to just check out. That's also a networking thing that can be done as well. So there may be some extra steps that POs can make to try to get people to come to the event. But for the most part, I think the lineup of games that are being ran definitely determines the growth for the scene. So, I'm sorry, you was gonna say something I didn't mean.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna try to get Ryusuke to chime in if he could because like he runs the Just Dance stuff and like it pulls a lot of casual gamers. And the thing is, the casual gamer, we have to realize this, they are scared to get into the competitive scene. There's a certain level of fear because like I'm putting up money up, these guys are talking. It's it's very imitating for somebody who's never done anything. So like Ryusuke, he
Mm-hmm.
is one of the our heads when it comes to like communicating with this casual audience. Are you able to speak? Sounds like he might be busy. I really wanted him to speak on that, but I could talk a little bit more into it. Just on a casual sense, having something there for a casual person, like we really try to like get them in there, because once they get bit with a competitive bug, that's it. They're gonna come back. So we have
Right.
that. We've done that with our Mario Kart tournaments. Like we did a pretty big Mario Kart tournament at Comic Con. We had two different Mario Kart tournaments and two different Just Dance tournaments, and they each brought their own unique challengers, and we had two different champions. So we're saying that in the sense that these are communities that don't necessarily, they haven't been explored competitively with the sense of the FGC. FGC is different because this is all grassroots. This is all based off of like the arcade. And, we used to being there and seeing people pop off, get loud and stuff like that. So the Mario Kart people ain't used to that. Just dancers, they ain't used to that either. So for them to have that experience and to see it blows their mind, and it does stuff differently. So that's one of the things that, I take pride in just reaching out to new people and potential new challengers.
Huh. Hence the name, New Challengers. It's the name of the group. Yo,
Inception.
yeah, that there it is. There it is. It's real. That all segue to that right there, getting them new challenges in there. But yeah, I agree 100% with that. Retro, what you got? What you think?
Yeah, I mean, for us, we haven't done a whole lot of it yet, but we are might look into like more casual events. But what we have done as far as like getting more games and more stuff out, what I would do, we host a Thursday nights casuals at the Reboot, and lately that has been kind of growing as a result of getting new people to come through. And what I will do though is we'll start challenging people to bring out the games that you want to support and see tournaments for. And over time, people want to say, "Well, I want to see I want to see Dead Alive tournaments. I want to see this type of game coming out. No, I want to do a tournament for this, a tournament for that, whatever." And I said, "Okay, well, I'll bring it out. If people want to come for it to show interest in it and do it consistently doing the casual stuff, then we'll put something up for it. And if not, then we're just not gonna run it because no. And I basically kind of like do that. Same with the casual people. People are like, yeah, I want to do a Mario Golf tournament, or I want to do like a Mario Kart or Pac Man, whatever type of stuff. And I said, yeah, we do that type of and people because during the casual nights, if people come through and see what's going on in the background, and they're like, oh, what you guys having a tournament? Like, nah, we're just getting together and play games. And they like, I told them what games we play and everything like that. And so, like I said, you know, I just tell them the same thing. If y'all guys want something to, be seen and featured at an event, as an event, just come up and ask me, and then I'll say, okay, well, we can look into this and talk about it or whatever. If you're interested, then and then if you want to bring the game out yourself, you can do that. Because the thing is, I want to put it to more of a community effort to push for what they want to have happen. Because a lot of times, we do try to do different stuff. Okay, in one sense, I like to see games that I want to be featured that everybody want to come out to play. Like for example, Marvel 3, Third Strike, and there are people that be like, yeah, no one played Third Strike, no one played this game. I want to see this tournament. I want to see this one. I want to see this one. To see this, and I have to explain to them, well, people gotta be interested in this stuff. And then if it comes to like doing stuff where casuals can be involved, it's like, well, let's have to do an event that's involve casuals in it. And people who are casual, they're like, oh man, I'm not sure if I should enter this event or should I come. I said, well, the thing is, even if you're new to the scene, if you're pro, whatever, you're always welcome. Come through anytime on Thursdays. And if you want to see something to be featured, just ask and whatnot. Because it always, the thing about it, because it's easy to bring, like I said, the horse or the water to the horse, but to make it drink, is the more challenging part. And you can't really make it drink. So it has to want to drink. It has to be thirsty for things. it has to be one thing to reach out to get it. And the same thing I have to treat it with our players. No, and the same thing. Like we actually might be on the verge of having a Def Jam event because people came out to me and wanted to play Def Jam. I posted about it
That'll
on
be hype.
Facebook. Yo, I've been watching the tournaments and and then what happened? We actually brought it out a few weeks ago, and people were like barely play fighting games and barely seeing what's going on. They heard certain sounds and they knew what's up, and they flocked to the back, and we was watching, and we was like reminiscing everything, and they're like, man, I'll be down if we do a Def Jam tournament and this and this and this, And I was like, you know what? And I'll put it together. And next week, no, we didn't bring the game up, but we talked about it again. And they're like, yeah, we definitely the same people. And I said, hey, and I posted out on Facebook, if I bring out a Def Jam, will you guys come? And like, yeah. So, that's something I'm working on. And like I said, the thing is, because it's not only the fact that as a TO, you have to bring out stuff to the people to want to be interested in, the people has to want to have that interest to go towards it as well. It's a two-way street. It's a communication. And that's where a lot of people fell at is that, the people want things to happen and so forth, but they have to do things and it takes for people to want to come. As I said, a casual player, likes to be involved in competition, like to play games and so forth, and see, be involved in what we're doing. But that person had to take that step forward to be interested in it and to take a step. Like, well, I don't know play Street Fighter like that. I'm not that good. Well, come to our casual events and we just train and talk to each other and hang out. Blah blah blah. That person has to be so willing to come. So that's how I kind of have to challenge my people on our end about how to bring interest from outside in to the end. So, yeah.
Because you wonder how like tournament numbers for games, like they start off strong, but they might like diminish over time. And then some people might complain like there are no tournaments or just don't go anymore. But they'll still complain that there are no tournaments in their area, right? All
Mm-hmm.
TOs are different. And they may think differently about how the numbers will work. And you just wonder how we get more people to show up. I mean, does it matter? And do you will you continue to support the game even if it did have low turnouts? Like for example, like Negaman said, there was the Yu Yu Hakusho game. He said, "Yo, come see his Hiei." He's like, "Nobody's touching me, right?" But if he
Mm-hmm.
held a tournament for it, how many people are going to show up, right? And if nobody signs up for it, then he's like, "Okay, well, I thought I'd try it. I give it a shot." But that tournament, you want to go with. I think a good strategy. And hear me out.
Mm-hmm.
This could work. So you host a game, right? You host a game with the games that give you the most entrance, right? And I'll just say for example Smash Brothers. Smash Brothers are always gonna bring people in. You'll host the Tekken. Tekken
Mm-hmm.
usually has a good crowd or whatever, right? You host these games that have the top attendance records. Then then you sprinkle in, you slowly sprinkle in that one or two games that are like really odd or unorthodox, or make one of them like free to enter or something like that. Because they're gonna show up, right? They're gonna show up for the game, but they're also going to spectate the the oddball game. And if you and the times too, the times also would be different. Like the big tournament is gonna happen like at 5 o'clock or something, 5 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time or whatever. Host the oddball game like maybe 2 hours before the big game starts. So that way, people who are coming in, they can spectate the game and they be like, all right, well, next time I might enter this. That's another. That I don't know. That's just a strategy. That's just a
No,
strategy I love
that's
because I'm thinking
not
like,
not a bad strategy.
yeah,
Yeah.
because people gonna be standing around waiting for the tournament to start, and I think that's a you know interesting approach to get people to check it out.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I agree. Like, it's kind of like how though that Sailor Moon scene kind of popped off. People just start bringing it. Then you see these guys do crazy infinites and all this crazy stuff. You're like, in a Sailor Moon game, what the heck? And then now a whole community is born. So yeah, it's just like getting people to follow the breadcrumbs to the main course. You know what I'm saying? So no, I definitely agree. Yeah, I just wanted to, again, thank you guys for having me out for this discussion. I probably got like 10 more minutes before I gotta slide into this potential halftime show right quick. So I was gonna go in there because
Okay,
Ryusuke and Responder.
okay. So if that's the case, then we'll go ahead and wrap it up. Right now, then we definitely don't want to keep you. So yeah, the other half of the episode, we could probably like repurpose that into a future, like with the other topics that I had on hand there. Sir Retro, do you have the slides available right now? All right, so yeah,
Yeah.
so let's get to
Mm-hmm.
that. Yeah, let's
Let's
get to that
switch
real quick.
to the advertisements. All right. So of course, y'all guys have y'all event. You can tell more details about it. I'm gonna blow it up a little bit
Yeah,
more.
yeah. Appreciate you guys like showing up and sharing that for ourselves. So, yeah, this is our final NCA event, offline event for the year. We usually try to wrap everything up around October and then focus on online events and social
Mm-hmm.
media presence and stuff like this. But this is going down in Opelika on the 21st. It's going to be our final event 2023. Come pull up, show up, have some fun with us. It's going to be streams, going to be prizes, it's going to be fun times in Opelika and the Auburn area. And we're going to have some of the finest players in Alabama FGC pull up as well. We happy to have y'all out there. And we do have a free Mario Kart tournament as well. We do that. You'd be surprised who'll be popping up for the free Mario Kart tournament. And these kids are serious around here. But again, yeah, this is going to be like the last hurrah for us for this. And then I say that, but it's potential that we might be doing other events like we're currently doing, and we are also going to be working on fundraising events as well later on this year and next year. We're also open to any future collaborations with any FGCs in our area or even outside of our area. We're all open to ears for just collaborations, and we're looking to build the community and help people do what they love. So again, our event's gonna be coming up. We got Tekken 7, Mortal Kombat 1, Guilty Gear, Street Fighter 6, and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe for the freebies. Come pull up, have some fun, bring your fam, and let's get it.
All right, there it is. Yeah, there it is. The NCA. There's that event. They're saying it's the last hurrah. So if you're in that area, definitely pull up and check these guys out, man. I can already know it's gonna be ran with the most pristine accuracy and just I think it's gonna be a great time for sure. So retro, actually, I'm gonna go ahead and put the link, the sign up link, so if people want to check that out in the chat
Definitely go for it.
as well. Yeah, if I can do that. But yeah, if you have that other slide ready there, go ahead and
Is
take
it?
a look at that.
Sure. I mean, is it the one that you pro? Is this the big one?
Yeah, we can go over that real quick. Yeah, sure.
Well, no, oh no. What was the other event then before it? Because
No, I mean the only other event I had was the Max mode. But
oh, okay. Oh, I'll go on the
yeah,
okay. Of course, DreamHack Atlanta as well. But right quick, of course, I'll have to put the details of the tournaments. But of course, that's going to happen in December. Yeah, we have our events, but we don't have anything. We don't have the details out yet. But I'm gonna put this out here for now. And of course, DreamHack Atlanta is going to be a big event the end of the year. Definitely, if y'all guys are planning to go there in the area, yeah, no, come through Georgia and definitely check it out. Also, I'm gonna have dollar. Each tournament is $1. They're having I think over $25,000 in prize. I may be wrong. I forgot to have the actual slide for it, but yeah, yeah. But I think this announcement is really big, and I've seen a lot of positive reaction. And I'll let you take over, my guy.
all right. This one's been in the making for a long time, man. This one is a long time coming. Put the link in the chat there for details on that event. But it's the Max Mode going down here in Atlanta, Georgia. No, it's not the it's not a replacement for what Final Round was. That's its own legacy. That's its own journey. This is the beginning of something new, hosted and managed by the Data FGC team. I know you guys might have worked with them on previous projects before, Negaman, or may have been collaborating on some events in regards to that. But this one here is once more details are available as far as what events are going to be happening, because I think things are still being planned out. But the main event registration link is live for that event. 3 days,
Woo
3 days
woo.
of FGC goodness going down. A lot of collaborators and event coordinators are going to be working to make sure this event is going to be a smashing success. So I'm very excited to see what the future of the SGC is about to look like here in Atlanta, Georgia. So the Max Mode, hosted by Data FGC, is live, and stay tuned for details and for more.
Yeah, congratulations, y'all.
Yeah, that's hype. I'm super happy to see Max Mode and shout out to Marco.
Mm.
Shout out to my boy Big Bass as well and the rest of the data team. Really happy to see this, and I'm pulling up for that. That's why I got Dust my Jamie off.
Oh, for sure, man. Can't wait to see you there live and in person, man. It's gonna be a good time for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. And yeah, just big ups to the both of y'all again for just making it as far as y'all been doing, man. Me and Shadow, I know we've known each other for some years, and it's my first time having the pleasure of talking with the mayor of Macon. But big ups to both of y'all, man. Hopefully, I would like to do some more stuff with you guys in the future as well. I enjoy y'all energy, and yeah, definitely looking forward to working with y'all on future endeavors, and of course slapping some buttons as well.
For sure, man. You could definitely, check us out, man. If you guys want to set up like a game night or something, we just play online or a lobby or something with
Mm-hmm.
us. Just let us know. Yeah, we'll collaborate on that.
Yeah.
We could just play a lobby, just play some games, talk about some stuff. I think that'd be pretty fun to do something like that. Uh, the the I got next cross NCA game night or something with
Hey.
Street Fighter Six. Yeah, I like the
Yeah,
sound
yeah,
of
yeah.
that. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I like the sound of that.
yeah, sounds like fun. Yeah, for sure, guys, for sure. Yeah. Again, thank you guys so much. And let's just, I appreciate what you guys are doing for the FGC. And let's just keep on growing the scene, fellas.
Yeah.
Yes,
Well,
sir. Thank you so much, Negi man, for taking the time out to speak with us. I know you got to get to your event. Tell Ryusuke we appreciate him as well for taking the time out to talk with us. Also, um, and again, if the people want to check you guys out, as far as your content goes, where can they catch you at?
Well, you can find us on Twitter on at NCA underscore FGC, as well on YouTube, New Challenger Approaching FGC. We also have a organizational website as well, www.newchallengerapproaching.org, and that's where you can find the countdown to our next events, the latest news, albums, and everything that we're a part of. You can check that out on our actual website. So it's newchallengerapproaching.org.
All right, there it is, man. Definitely do appreciate you guys for so much for taking the time to speak with us, man. You got any last words before you got to get it? Before you got to head out?
Oh yeah, and just I guess my in closing for me, um, it's been a journey. I know Ryusuke kind of like spoke on like the humble beginnings. We started off in his house, me and him going back and forth. And I'm like, bro, we gotta make a scene. And now we over here flying to New York, doing stuff with Waka Flocka and Sonic Fox, and it's just keep on going, keep on going and growing. And I have big high hopes for the FGC. So again, looking to collaborate with anybody that is looking to grow the FGC or even do some unique stuff at their events. Give the new challengers a call, and we will take your event up to the next level. Again, appreciate you guys.
All right, man. Take care, man. Good luck on your event. And thank you so much for tuning in and speaking with us on that.
Oh yeah, for sure. Peace out, y'all.
All right, man. All right, so yes, ladies and gentlemen, yes, that was NCA's own Negaman and Ryusuke who joined us in for season 3, episode 5. Um, so you
Mm.
guys see the if you're looking at the display right now, you can see a interesting new graphic design. First of all, I want to give shout outs to our new official logo for the I Got Next podcast. I know you see how clean that looks, man. That is a very clean logo. Big shout outs to Phantom Angel, aka Divine One of the Barcelona group, who made this design and put it together. Oh man, it looks immaculate. And I'll post a few more. He sent me a few more samples of the designs too as well. But I'll go ahead and make that my banner for that logo because it is very clean. I definitely want to consider putting that on a shirt or a hat, or I might even pull up the Max mode. Wearing some I Got Next gear. That's also a thing that could happen. But yeah, man. So retro. Yeah, we had a variety. I had a variety of panel of different topics to go over. We can go over one other thing before we close it in on our end
Sure.
here. And basically, this particular topic was called, I like to say, social media influencers. So
Mm.
too much complaining, man. It's like it's just too much complaining that you may see on how social media has so much power over game developing influence.
Mm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
companies, like fighting game companies, they have social media managers. You got influencers, and now those influencers have a large enough voice on their platform to actually affect the progress of a patch. Right? Let me give
Oh
you an
yeah.
example. So Rashid, right? So when Rashid came out, he had the level 2 bug with his tornado that stayed on the screen. It did a ridiculous amount of chip damage. Players were using that to kind of tease their way a little bit on their opponent. But this actually was This actually was found, 2 weeks before Evil, mind you,
Yep.
and Capcom did like an emergency patch that addressed it because a
Right.
lot of
Right.
people were reporting the issue. Right now, if Aki had something similar, like giving you like infinite poison, like an infinite poison glitch, I think it'd be patched, emergency patched the same way.
Right.
So I'm thinking that with enough voice and enough points out there, like they're taking notice that they take note of that. Companies do have social media people that go on and just check out which is trending for their game. They want to see reviews. They look at all of that and take all of that into consideration. So right now, when you see people complaining about how JP is this and that, or why does Marisa do so much damage,
Mm-hmm.
all of that can be considered into the next patch. And you might see them be like, hey, well, you guys are complaining that Marissa hit too
Right.
hard, so we kind of toned down her damage a little bit. We changed a little bit on her frames for her moves. You guys were saying that JP gameplay was just too OP or ridiculous, so we changed this. We made this particular thing. So again, I'm saying all of that to be said that a lot of people, when you see anyone could make a complaint about a game on there, especially when they have a large follower fan base, and they got a lot of
Mm-hmm.
viewers and stuff. Those viewers, they listening to that. I mean, they're getting influenced by whatever that person says. So if a top player says this, it's gonna be law, and you just have to deal with that particular situation. So what do you think? Do you think like social media people, like they have influence on how game development goes for fighting games?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I would agree with it. They do because, but I would say at the same time, like for example, with the situation with Capcom, like I'm saying, like the bugging situation, everything like that. They patching. As for the characters, I'm actually kind of curious because they're actually not doing any patches on character balance, and not until next year. You would think that the way it is now with the influencers are like, man, this is ridiculous. Perfect parry is sucks. Get rid of it. Blah blah blah. You would think they would try to have those patches be done a little bit quicker. So I think there's a case where Capcom is like, for example, it's kind of holding their own. Like, you know what? We're aware, you guys. We aware how you feel. We're gonna give some time because they. I'm probably hoping that they're thinking that the influencers may let the meta play out more and be like, you know what, Perfect Parry isn't that bad as I thought, or Marissa doesn't. No, she suffers so much in this, it doesn't matter. I think, and so I think like that. Like I said, that's one thing. At the same time, it's like I said, they're and you can tell they're engaging more with the audience, with the viewers and players and everything. And then don't forget that some of the people who are involved with the development are also players too. So that could be a bigger thing where some of the influencers, more or less, could be the some of the developers or have their hands in development, and then they have their people or have like connections with the developers, which even makes the influence even stronger. So I actually because there's some people that know like so and so that works in this section and be like, hey, um, I know you working on this. Can you tell me if this character will get nerfed next time? Can you tell me that you can balance it like this? So that could happen. Have I seen it happen? I've seen it for where we have some features here and there, but as far as like seeing the balance patch, I won't be surprised. But yeah, the thing about it, the dangers of that is that where you have the social media influencers having that power to kind of change the course of the game, which is really interesting but scary, and it really could, unfortunately, discourage people to try to play the game because then it's catering to how that influencer wants the game to be operate, and that's the thing I hope that more developers are aware of is the influence that can really change the course of their development, and it could be a point where next something end up being more imbalanced, ironically, than balanced, and it could really affect newcomers wanting to get into the game and everything. And but and those who are defending this influencers will try to gatekeep or be like, no, the influencers, he's right. That character is sucks, whatever. And they may not have never played that character or played the game themselves. They just see what their favorite player is saying and they automatically agree. So that's one thing. If that also is a big possibility it can happen, and I'm hoping that the companies are aware of that, and because I want to say I'm not sure if like with Street Fighter Five the situation that happens when like everyone thought that Shoryukens were too strong and this option was too strong, and that whole infamous season 2, all the characters DPs got were just got destroyed. I'm not sure it was because of social media influencer didn't like DPs or the developers didn't like it, but that could be an example of what could happen if the social media influencers can say, you know what, DPs are too strong in this game, delete them, make them weak, blah blah. It sucks. That. So yeah, the engagement. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was gonna say, yeah, that changed the whole entire dynamic for a season just because of that change for characters. It could all it takes is one or two good universal changes
Mm-hmm.
that'll affect the whole entire game. So like, what if in season 2 they said, they may change the recovery on Drive Rush. Now it's even more dangerous to just throw it out there in neutral. But you still get your advantage on your frames. However, the recovery on it is pretty bad if you decide to short stop. Like there's an extra delay on the just drive rush, so you can't just drive rush in neutral. You have to actually commit to an option for a button press. So now you can't do those pump fakes anymore, and
Mm-hmm.
now it's worse because of the recovery. They added extra frames on the recovery, so now you're in trouble for doing that. and that one particular change can change the entire game,
Yep.
right? So those are yeah, those those one or two touches can definitely change the entire outcome. Like look for example, I'll give you an example. It was Samurai Showdown. So later on in the game's lifespan, they changed where now there's chip damage. There's quote unquote chip damage and now guard break. Now there's a guard break in the
Mm.
game, and that kind of changed the whole approach on defense. Now that you have a guard break, you can't really just hold back like that like you used
Right.
to. You got to actually force to now you kind of like have to fight. You glow red before it happens, but that's a big change, And Street Fighter Six, they could do the same thing.
Yeah.
Again, like we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Season two, we're halfway through the first season. We got to talk about a lot today. I think we covered a good amount. I know the NCA guys are pretty busy because
Right.
they got
Right.
to do their half show event. So I do appreciate them for taking the time out to speak with us. But again, this episode will be archived. So Retro will work on getting it any clean up any editing and get the live link posted when the episode is ready there. So follow Sir Retro on his social medias if for all of those updates. And Sir Retro, where can the good people find you at?
Pretty much anywhere on Twitch. Here, obviously, Sir underscore Retro08 on Twitter or X. Sir Retro08. Same with Instagram, Sir Retro08. Facebook as well. Also can find me on TikTok. Retroc08 is RETROK 08. But yeah, definitely. You can find me all over there and all over social media. Feel free to reach out to me for anything. Of course, definitely I guide you to where you need answers to. Of course, no, that's not just only me, but you got the man with the plan, the host with the most. Shout out Ace where the good people can find you.
You can check me out on the Twitters at Mind Shadow Ace. I post up various amounts of events that I'll be working with in regards to the future, in addition to this particular podcast. Again, just to let people know that no, you don't have to be some top level Hollywood player to get
Mm-hmm.
on these podcasts. I don't want people to think that this is a community podcast, so we're willing to talk if you're willing to talk. We're willing you if you know if you're willing to talk, we're willing to listen. If you're willing to listen, we're willing to talk. It's vice versa. So again, you don't have to be a brand named sponsored player to get on this podcast. We're willing to talk to pretty much anyone who can hold a discussion with us and give them their thoughts and feelings about how they feel about Street Fighter and the FGC meta in general. So just wanted to throw that out there. I know someone was like, well, I'm not really a sponsored player and all that. Ah, come on, man.
Oh,
Get
trust
that.
me.
Where's the confidence? You need that confidence boost to talk.
Look,
Come talk with us, yo. We'll
I'm
be
not
more
even
than happy to
sponsored like
listen to you.
that. So hey,
Look, you see,
we're
Retro
hosting
said
this
he
thing.
ain't sponsored. So it might be somebody out there that think you're sponsored, Retro. That's what you're saying. You think
I
you're
mean,
sponsored? Yeah.
I'm not like yeah, like because I mean, I may be sponsored in a way like but only just to support certain things, but I'm not a sponsored player. Like
Hmm.
I'm not talking about Cloud 8, Cloud 9, or Liquid, whatever, to like that. You know, but still, like, hey, we're
Yeah.
hosting the show, so y'all guys are open to come through. So we just
Oh, for sure, man.
yeah.
This is a community platform, man. So if you want to talk to us, come talk to us. But yeah, this is episode 5. I do say I do have a special idea in the works. I can already give out the spoiler for it right now. It's gonna be called the Pain by Holiday Special. I need to work on that. Um, and Retro already knows what that means, so I ain't gotta say no more. But the Pain by Holiday Special gonna be in the works, and I'm very excited for that. I'm gonna see if I can also get the Bates to jump on that too, as well when it's time. So that one is gonna be a legendary episode, and I cannot wait for that. But we once again, want to thank you guys so much for tuning in and supporting the
Mm-hmm.
Street Fighter I Got Next podcast series. I'll reach out to another individual about how episode 6 is going to go down, too, because I know that they may express interest in trying to join us. So I'm excited to see if they can, if they still want to do it. But for right now, this has been episode 5 for season 3. And yeah, we've been at this for a while, man. So I'm excited you guys are still here with us with our journey, all of our day ones. We saw FGC Chris here, we saw McPanther here earlier. We didn't see Warren of the Sand, but they've been with us for a while too as well. So we just appreciate all of our supporters, man, and we're just gonna keep growing and keep making it happen as best as we can. And Sir Retro, before we get out of here, you got anything for the good people?
Definitely want to say shout outs to the Middle Georgia FTC. We're still going strong, and we've been growing a lot lately. Um, I'm excited because we'll be start traveling again. We got places to go, people to see. So whether it's going to be in the state or out of state. Oh, and out of state. I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that. In state and out of state. So Middle Georgia Reboot is going to be traveling very soon, actually, starting next week. So we'll be looking at invading y'all private area, invading y'all turfs. So hope y'all guys get ready to protect it because we're coming.
Is that for the Oktoberfest? Is that for Oktoberfest, or is it
Yes,
something else?
that's one. And
Okay,
if
that's
you
one.
want to,
Okay.
and also we want to get some pancakes too. Zone breakers. They've been having too many pancakes for so long.
Oh, whoa, hold up. Y'all coming to Pancake House?
Yes, yeah,
Oh,
buddy.
yo. All right, bet. Okay. All right, now it just got interesting. All right. So y'all coming to Pancake House. Let me find out. Say no more. Say no more. Say no more. It'll
Yep.
be exciting to see you guys, there pull up, but y'all coming to take the pancakes away?
Yeah.
Y'all coming to take over the pancake house. The invasion is real.
Yep.
Say less, yo.
Yeah.
Say
So
less,
we.
man. But once again, thank you so much, Sir Retro, for taking your time out to make this happen, man. Again, I can't express my thanks enough for you agreeing to do this with me here. But again, guys, please stay tuned. We will let you guys know the details on when episode 6 will be in production, and we'll let you know
Yep.
who the potential guest could be for the next one. But for right now, I'm out the door. Star Retro, take it away. If you got